This is how to replace a rear rotor on a Chevy Equinox 2010 all the way up to 2017. They pretty much use the same ones, so you're going to need the exact same tools, and the process is identical. Let me show you exactly how it's done in under 10 minutes. If you want to see how to replace the front rotor, I have that video linked in the description box below. Make sure to check that video out. All right, before we get started, I'm gonna let you know the tools that you're going to need. First, you're going to need a jack. If you don't have one, there's going to be one in the rear of the vehicle. Let me quickly show you. So if you don't have a jack, just check where the spare tire is and you're going to find one. If you have one, then simply use that jack. All right, so once your vehicle is lifted, you're going to need a 22mm socket to remove the lug nuts. If you don't have a 22, you can use one of these. The next thing you're going to need is a 15mm socket, preferably a flat one or one that is very, very small, to remove the caliper. Once that is done, you're going to need a ratchet for your socket, maybe a breaker bar too if you're not strong enough. And then you're going to need one of these. I'm gonna show you why here in a second, because this will get stuck. And finally, you're going to need a T27. This is extremely important because you're going to need it to remove the caliper. If you strip this 10-minute job is going to cost you at least an hour by the time you have to drill it out and do all that stuff. So first thing is first, remove the tire. I have already loosened it up, so we're going to get rid of all these bolts real quick. So this process is very, very simple, and you can do this at home with no problem whatsoever. All right, so put these lug nuts somewhere where you're not going to lose them. Once they're on, simply wiggle the tire off. All right, we're gonna put this tire right there. Don't move, little buddy. All right, now you're going to see the caliper. So, all right, so once the tire is removed, you're going to locate two bolts. One right here, and the other one is on the very bottom right here. As you can see, not a lot of space, so you're gonna need a smaller socket. That way you don't destroy your shock. All right, so for the top one right here, you'll be able to squeeze in your impact gun with no worries at all. And you should be able to remove it on the first go. I'm trying to do this one-handed. But, all right, there you go. So the first one is loose. Check it out. We're not gonna remove it, we're just gonna keep it there. The second one is a little bit more tricky. So as you can see, when you put in your socket, you literally have two turns, just enough to break it loose before you have to use a 15mm wrench or one of these adjustable ones in order to remove it. So let me quickly break this one loose and I'll show you the next step. All right, we're back at it again. So as you can see, this one now, it is broken loose. But if you keep pushing it all the way out, your ratchet will hit the shock and you won't be able to remove it. So a couple of turns is enough. And then you're going to get your wrench tool and you're going to remove it. It's better to have one that is like size 15. But if you don't, then you got to use one of these. So this should take about 5-6 seconds. All right, so check it out. After a couple of turns, it does become loose. You want to remove the bottom one first simply because of the shock. All right, so that one is removed. Now we're going to remove the top one as well. Once both of them are removed, the caliper is ready to come off. But before we remove the caliper, you want to remove the T27 that is on your caliper. This is what is holding it on. So make sure you get the T27. I have seen a lot of people strip this bolt and this job becomes a nightmare. It shouldn't take much strength at all. Simply put in your T27 and slightly move it. You're going to have to hold this with your other hand. So once you break it loose, simply unscrew the bolt off and then put it in a safe place as well. Do not lose this. All right, now everything is ready to come off. First thing you want to do is remove the caliper. Everything should be able to be wiggled off just like this. You should be able to remove everything with your hand. All right, and then put your brake up here so it is not hanging. All right, as you can see, this one is stuck on. So to loosen it up, take a hammer or whatever you got that's metal, hit it a couple of times, and it should loosen it up just like this. If you got two hands, it will be much, much easier. All right, so the old caliper is off. and now you'll be able to see everything inside. All right, so now that the caliper is off, you want to get your new caliper. You should have one ready to go. These are greased up, so you might want to dry them off with some paper. If not, it is no biggie at all. All right, the first thing that you want to do with these calipers is look at the back of this one. As you can see, it has this rubber boot. Simply pop it out with your finger or with a screwdriver. Once you have popped it out, simply pop in the plastic piece right here. If your new caliper comes with the new one, use the new one. And then you want to align this hole with this hole right here. That way that T27 goes in perfectly. All right, so we're gonna put this one back on just like that. All right, next step is to put in the T27. We're gonna put it with our hands first, and then we're gonna tighten it here in a little bit. As you can see, the process to do this is extremely simple, and you can do it in no time. Now that you have tightened your T27, the rotor is on there tight and it is not going anywhere. Next step is to take the brake caliper and simply slide it back on. You'll be able to do this all with one hand. As you can see, next thing is to align these holes so your big bolts slide right in. Make sure to do the top one first, because then it makes the bottom one way easier. So once you have the top one in, you can tighten it, but you don't have to push it in all the way, as long as it is holding the caliper. Next, you got to put in the bottom one. Once the top one is in, the bottom one should be automatically aligned, so you want to screw that one in as well. Next thing, you want to tighten them. Simply use your wrench on the bottom at first until it is almost all the way in there, and then we're going to use that 15mm socket to tighten up the top one and to permanently tighten the bottom one as well. Now it is time to permanently tighten these bolts. Slide in your impact gun on top and let it rip. All right, that thing ain't going nowhere. As you can see, the top one is perfectly in there, and now we're going to use that 15mm on the bottom one to tighten it as well. All right, let's see if we can get it on there. All right, so now we're gonna tighten this one. Once it is tightened, that is pretty much it. All right, so now the caliper is perfectly tightened, and now you can take a microfiber cloth or whatever you have and clear the grease away. Especially some of these come extremely greasy, so make sure you clear some of that grease off. After it is cleared off, you're pretty much done. Hey, before we get back to the video, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually shopped around for car insurance? If it has been more than a year, then there's a really good chance that you are leaving real money on the table. Insurance costs change all the time, and loyalty doesn't always pay off. The same coverage could cost significantly different amounts depending on the provider. That is why I want to show you this free comparison tool. You put your information once, and it pulls multiple insurance offers so you can compare them side by side. No phone calls, no pressure, just options. Some drivers find that they can save up to hundreds of dollars a year by simply comparing. It takes just a few minutes and it won't cost you anything to look. The link is in the description below. Go and check your options. You might be surprised what you find there. And for the final step, you want to take your 22mm and you want to screw in. Strip them a little bit as well. Don't worry about it. All right. And there you go. And that is how simple and easy it is to replace a rotor on a Chevy. Like, subscribe. See you next video. Peace out.